That's right. The words of me, I think to me. Sleepless night, your love has left us incomplete. Thinking that your promises will fit so right. Oh, that's right. So I put you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this be. Don't you do so much better? You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this be. Don't you do me so much better? 'Cause I do it. So you thought I would let this be. Don't you do me so much better? Oh, no. So you thought I would let this be. Don't you do me so much better?
Shout out to the CIA. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? It is time to get into this broadcast, and it's going to be, as I've told you guys, we're starting to break into the segmentation. We're starting to split things up. My videos are going to be for everybody. My videos are going to be for everyday guys. You know, when I talk about fragrance, style, whatever, they're going to be for the masses. But my live streams, they're going to be for the guys who are above average, far from average, whatever you want to call it. Because here's what I've started to realize: that nobody's talking. There's a segment of men that nobody really speaks to. So I want to deal with the guys who are above the middle as far as income. You want to be, you know, upper middle class, upper class, or elite. And why? Because I'm in business. My clients are not lower class clients. They won't buy my services. Even lower middle class, they may buy a consult, but they won't go further. And that is not an insult. There's a Neiman Marcus, there's a Saks Fifth Avenue, there's a Dillard's, there's a Nordstrom, there's a Macy's, there's a JCPenney. There's a store for everybody. But what's required to be at a higher level is different than in the middle. And it's time that we finally go ahead and start acknowledging these truths. Look, I did a broadcast last night talking about, you know, the whole thing is women want Henry. Why some women want Henry, high earners that aren't rich yet. And if you didn't check out that video, I suggest you go back and look at it. But in the broadcast, I did the best I could to draw lines and say, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about a minority of people. But even then, you had guys in the comment section that were just simply butt hurt. And I'm about to rip you all a new asshole. Because I really firmly believe there are a segment of guys out here that just don't like the fact that there are truths. They don't like the fact that there is a thing called class. There is a thing called money, and it shouldn't be that way. And I don't care. Image is not an image consultant doesn't concern himself with what should be, concerns himself with what is, outcomes, not your personal belief systems. And there is a reality. There are alpha males and then the rest. There are select men and then the rest. There's always going to be a ranking system. And women know this. And so do men. Let me talk about some, let me read you some of the comments. Why would you come to my channel and say, sounds like someone cares about women too much? Let me tell you what I'm doing with all you people. Everybody that comes to my channel who speaks crazy in the comment section, I'm blocking you because I need you guys to understand something. Success is an echo chamber. I'm glad my frat brother Alan Roger Curry finally came to this conclusion. Success is an echo chamber. Look, man, when you drive up to the Mercedes dealership or the BMW dealership or whatever, you see a different caliber of sales associate, a different kind of furniture, a different kind of vibe than when you go down to 2020 Carland or Plenty, than when you go to CarMax. And it's time for us to stop acting like it's all the same. So if you're a guy who does not like women, if you're a guy who has issues with women, leave my channel. Because over here, we don't have problems with women. I don't want you over here. I just don't. Stay out of my comment section. Because if you go in my comment section and make a comment like this, I'm going to block you. So let's start out right now. Goodbye to you. I'm not going to even say your name. There is something, and I'm gonna go ahead and segment it right here, and I'm gonna talk about black men for a few minutes. So to my non-black viewers, give me this second. Black men, when I was talking about success, let me go ahead to the article. I'm going to the videos from yesterday. go into my history, because when I was doing my background research for yesterday's program, and I pulled up some success stats, and I put it in the chat room. But what I've noticed far too often, and let me just be real, is we know the Black community is behind. And we're talking about, honestly, understand, we're talking about six figures. And that was a sticking point. And I'm like, wow. I'll give you the example of this. Too many Black guys, too many Black men have this mindset today. You were the valedictorian or the salutatorian, or you even the top 5 in your high school graduating class. You have always been the smartest or the best in that school. Let's say that you're the valedictorian or the salutatorian in your high school, but you got to realize there are dozens of high schools in a particular city, and hundreds, thousands of valedictorians in a particular state. How many people graduate valedictorian from their high school in the United States every year? Hundreds of thousands. Each one of those valedictorians was used to being the top in their school, from junior high to high school. The valedictorian didn't just happen. He was ranked top in his class freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. But then you go to college and you go to class, and then you're in class with a bunch of other valedictorians. You're automatically shot to just the middle of the pack. When I left high school, I was the drum major, the top ranking person in the band, and a Black school. So the Black band is different than anywhere else. Why didn't I go to be in the band at University of Oklahoma? Because I didn't want to be back there. And see, what I realized, thank you, D-Wiz, the bar is far, far too low in our community. And I'm about to drill down on that heavily. Because when we got men arguing over 6 figures, we got a problem. Your view of success is far too low. So Black, successful man. And what was that? I wish I could pull this up from yesterday. I was looking through a bunch of different stuff. And what shocked me more than anything else is how so many, here it is. Wealthy Black people account for approximately
1988K, but want to make over 100K invested into myself by going for a certification that will get me over the ledge.
There you go, Drew. Wealthy Black people account for approximately 4% of the nation's top earning household. And this is in Black Enterprise magazine, by the way. 4% of the nation's top earning households, and the wealth gap between them and the average Black person is staggering. The Federal Reserve Survey, along with Pew Research Center, reports that there are about 120 million households in America, with 83 million of those being white households and only 14 million being Black households, where there are 1.2 million households in the top 1%, and 96% of those are white. Let me say that again. 120 million households who are $1 million households, okay? Understand something. 83 million of 120 million. So let's do the quick math. Let's do black math. If you got 120 million and 14 are Black, 14, 11%, 11.6%. we're underrepresented. Only there are 1.2 million households in the top 1% of net worth and 96% white. Only 1.4% of them are black. Da, 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 da. Here's what I wanted to get to. When we talk about success in the Black community, it means something completely different than it does with everybody else. The bar is ridiculously low. And see, today I want to talk, and this is why I mean success is an echo chamber. So when we talk about success, we are having an abnormal conversation. Let me give you an example. You may have gone to college, and you may have, even if you went to an HBCU, it ranks somewhere in the top colleges and universities. If you went to a state college versus a university versus Ivy League, there's all a ranking. And understand something. I need you to ask yourself a question. Do you know what success is? And what does it look like? When you ask a woman, you ask the average 92 octane woman, does she want to be married? And she's going to, if she wants to be married, she's going to say she wants a successful man. And this is going to hurt, gentlemen. Prepare yourself. When women say successful men, no woman thinks about blue collar. You know that, and I know that. The archetype of a successful man implies a suit going to a white collar environment, and that bothers guys. I had guys in my comment section sit back, well, I'm a blue, and you could tell that he was pissed at that reality. I didn't make it. And I can't change it, so I don't care to talk about it. When women think about successful men, they think about not the entertainment class. I'm talking about the business class. There's a distinction between blue collar and white collar. Now, understand something. When I say success is an echo chamber, here's what I mean. The people who are successful, they talk about the same stuff and they do the same stuff. They go do the same things. They don't talk about things and do things that people under them. And see, it's hard for me to have these kind of conversations because I have to try to not hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm just going to go for it today. Look, man, especially in the Black community, you're going to have to deal with it. Race is an issue, but there are class issues in the Black community and money issues. There is an upper class, a lower class, and all this thing about being, called, one of the first things people want to throw a term at you called an elitist because you want to be successful. Because you want to be successful does not make you an elitist. It actually makes you average. Making $50,000 a year puts you in the middle of America, but that does not make you successful. Who honestly, when they were a little boy, thought success was being average? Success is an echo chamber. Just like you go to Alpha Male Strategies channel, he's talking about alpha male mindset. That is a minority of men by definition. What good does it go? So going over there, talking about being MGTOW, incel, blue pill, beta mindset, ain't gonna work over there. It's like going over to Alan Roger Curry's channel and talking about any of that stuff. And he is a dating coach who deals with seduction. I wonder what spawned this. Sanctuary says, I'm struggling with 40K now. Okay, Sanitary says he's struggling with 40K now. I need to know your age in years, and I need to know how many hours a week you're working. That's it. The age, your age, and the amount of hours you're working. I want to read you some of these comments. Understand something. Here's a guy who came in and said, I understand what Kevin is getting at, but we also have to understand that the average income for all Americans is 38K. No, we don't. That's not relative. That's not important for the discussion I had. See, understand something. That'd be like going to a calculus class and saying, well, you got to understand that I didn't pass trig. I don't care. Sanitary, if you're 50 what, dude? Okay. I'm also going to do a broadcast this week talking about literacy. And I'm just going to say, I have far too many guys who come over here who I want you to improve the way you write. I don't understand a lot of stuff you guys write. You're writing at 4th grade level. I'm going to erase your comments. That's right. I'm going to erase them. If you come in writing some yo dog, if you ain't writing at least the 9th grade level, I'm getting rid of it. I don't want to hear it. When I ask a question, can you please answer the question? I said, how old are you and how many hours? And you just throw out one number. That doesn't tell me anything. Thank you, Excalibur. You said you're 41 years old and you work 50 hours a week and you're struggling to make $40,000 a year now. All right. Well, obviously, you know you're in a bad shape, man. If you're 41 years old and you're struggling to make $40,000, that puts you right there in the average portion. But you got to understand that the things I talk about on this channel don't fit you. $40,000 a year is just about is it what, $33,000 a month, around $3,400 a month, and you're working 50 hours. You need to be working 100 hours. You don't need to be sleeping. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, there's no way I would be 41 years old, struggling to make $40,000 and working 50 hours. I'd be pushing 70, 80 hours. I'd be working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs. And see, that's because I define success. Success starts with a plan. And this is a problem because far too many guys who have decided to just take it easy in life occupy all of these spaces. And have your opinions out here, but understand, and I don't mean to be rude to do, but when talking about success, if you were to come in and say, I don't think that's right, or it's not that way, you're not the target audience. No one will call being 41 years old at $40,000 a year successful. And we got to get to the point to where that's not an insult. We got to get to the point to where we're actually saying, you know, you're right. Yeah, Xanatos, I'm to the point to where some of the comments I've seen, I mean, I put it in my comment filters. I got certain words in my comment filters that if you write certain words, and it's more than the
hood country swag approved literacy and articulation struggle is real, especially in the community.
If you write certain words in my comment section, your comment automatically gets flagged. And I'm flagging for literacy. You're not gonna clutter up my comment section with foolishness. Because over here, we are talking about success. Success is an echo chamber.
I appreciate you.
Success is an echo chamber. We're talking about guys who graduated from high school, went to college, military, or decided to go get some sort of certification. I am talking to men who are willing to put in 60 hours minimum without having to be told. 60 hours minimum. I'm talking to guys who understand they need to work out consistently to stay in shape, to keep their body right and their mind right, clear and focused. I'm talking to guys who, if they decide to get a woman, plan on paying all the bills. They don't do 50-50. I'm talking to men who want to compete with every other group of men out there. I'm talking to guys where 6 figures is not the starting. I'm just baffled at how many young men really don't get that. Where was that? That was a comment I wanted to focus on. And I needed to address this. Because one young man came in and said something I need to address about him and his friends. About him and his friends. Most of my friends are considered Henry. Doctors, lawyers, VPs, engineers, etc. We actually aren't looking for a woman who is looking to secure the bag. We purposely downplay our achievements to gauge a woman's genuineness. Let me tell you something, dude. What's up, Sean? I need you to give me a call, dude. Loyalty and trustworthiness is the top of our list because these well-paying corporate jobs can be taken at any moment. But I'm sure these women looking to secure the bag understand this. Nothing worse than having to wonder about a woman that will write. Okay, understand something, dude. I need you to understand what I'm about to say. Just because success isn't just your money. So let me get this straight. Just because you're a doctor, lawyer, VP, or an engineer, that alone does not make you successful when at this level. It's a matter of social standing. There are plenty of men out there who make a lot of money, who are beta, who are lame, who have no social standing. They just make a lot of money. And talking about purposely downplaying, you're not. That's ridiculous. To say, I'm a doctor, lawyer, engineer, VP, but I'm purposely going to downplay my money because I want to gauge a woman's trust. You need to this is where you need to become better. And that's not the woman's problem. That's your problem. I don't hear any other group of men talking like that as much as I hear Black men speaking like this. I downplay my money because I want to know the woman's there for trustworthiness. Then you need to get better at vetting. There's something wrong with your vetting. Because yes, if you honestly think that women are not supposed to take those things into consideration, you're off. That's why my response was, the world is much larger than much larger than you and your friends. How did you miss all that in a 1-hour video? Please address, that's a limited perspective. Successful men don't downplay their success. Success is a selling feature. Successful men like to be around other successful men and do successful things. You don't downplay success. It is a part of social standing. So let me go ahead and get rid of you up here. I'm gonna have to talk to black men again. Far too often, the people who really need to tell you what you need to hear feel like we can't tell the truth because we don't want to hurt your feelings. But this low level mindset is ridiculous. Understand something. Becoming a doctor, lawyer, engineer, that's just average out there. See, I know to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, something makes you leaps and bounds ahead of your cousin and everybody else from your hood. But think about the college you went to. I went to the University of Oklahoma. Black male engineers, we were a minority. The regular college and university, when you went to the engineering side, even Caucasian white men became a minority. Who was in the colleges? You had a lot of students from India, the Middle East. But the engineering students, there were less than, I'd often be the only black guy, 2 of us. So if you go over to the College of Engineering, I need you to look and see how many of those engineers, how many in the College of Engineering at your classification, junior level, how many of those are black men versus how many black men are in business, whatever. But I need you to look at is the College of Engineering has plenty of people. That's average. This is why we talk about the standards are too low. Too low, far too low. So when we come out, we're like, well, I'm doing better than my cousin. Let me just be honest, man. 6 figures over here starts at $250,000 a year. That's where it starts, 250. 250 is where it starts over here. Because success is an echo chamber. Guys who are successful do some of the same things. Let me tell you something. Successful men don't worry about being called elite. They expect to be the top of the class. They expect to be the elite. They expect to be the VP. They expect to be the directors, the owners, the entrepreneurs. This is why when I'm talking about going to things like, charity balls, galas, networking events, all this other kind of stuff, I asked the other day, do you have a tuxedo? Do you have a dinner jacket? Do you have any of this stuff? And like, honestly, a lot of you guys don't even own a suit. There is an entire other world over here with successful people that you don't even know because they are separate. What's higher standards than a doctor? First of all, Tony Reynolds, I need you to write me a coherent sentence. Write that sentence the way it should be written. What's higher standards than a doctor? Okay, Clarity Vision, you're wrong and stupid. It really shows this world has revolved around a woman. Let me tell you, you have issues with women, go see a therapist. Women are a system and control energy in the atmosphere. It's all about oppressing a female. That is stupid. The Wright brothers did not build an airplane to impress a woman. See, this is what I mean. Imagine where we would get if we have men, this is as small as we think that everything that men do, well, there's a theory called the selfish gene, but he's not talking at this level. And that's not a successful mindset. It simply isn't. This channel isn't for guys like you. Not my live streams. You can go watch the cologne video and fragrance videos and the shoe videos and get out of, but these things are echo chambers. I want men who want to be successful. Because what would an unsuccessful man need with an image consultant? Let's be honest. What would an unsuccessful man need with an image consultant? I'd be stupid to talk to unsuccessful men. I'd be out of business. I'm not going to do that. See, now let's talk about blue collar versus white collar. See, now I do have a lot of clients who are blue collar, but you know, one of the first things my blue collar clients say, you know what? I do exceptionally well financially, but my image suffers because of where my profession is ranked. Not the money, not the outcome, but he's talking about his social standing. So I have lots of blue collar clients who have a higher social standing because they've actually increased their professional profile of their industry and their world. See, you can be a truck driver and still move in the social world. You don't have to take what you go to work in. You can be a plumber, an electrician, an HVAC contractor, and you can still be able to move in society. Let's talk about it. Society, high society, all that stuff. Things that this is where success goes. These are the people that make the jobs that you go to. Book 12 Galas for 2020. Kevin, Eric, and that's the thing, Eric. As we've round out this year, that's what I'm going to teach about, talk about on my live stream. So understand, on my live streams, if you can't handle these truisms, don't come. By Clarity Vision, I don't want to hear anything these guys have to say. Moderators, when you see guys coming in talking about, if you guys come in and see people with MGTOW talking points, talking about how hypergamy is going to destroy the world, delete them. And once I see that they'll be deleted, I'll know to go look at them. And if they've been, Erica, you're a moderator too. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, understand something. Here's why I'm tired. You don't come to church to talk about why God ain't real. You wouldn't do that in your regular life. You would not go to a Baptist church or a Catholic church to sit there and challenge and say, God ain't real. You just wouldn't go. I'm sorry, what are higher standards of achievement than a doctor? Here's what I need you to do, Tony. I need you to go research that for yourself. That's what I need you to do. Because if a doctor is as high, if you think doctors make the most money and have the highest social standing, then my friend, you have a very small view of the world. Doctors, let's just talk about, I'm assuming most when we say doctor, most people think about medical doctors. Medical doctors, they range anywhere from family practice to general medicine to internist to cardiology to oncology. And in there, brain surgeons make more money than family medicine. That is your answer right there. And if you don't know that, I can't help you. And if you don't realize that there are some doctors that make $150,000 and there are some doctors that are multi-million dollars. Premier cardiac surgeons make more money than your local pediatrician. And see, this is what I mean. The fact that I'm even having to have this conversation and that there are guys who are on Wall Street, who are investment bankers, who are stockbrokers, who are making $7, $8, $10 million a year trading stocks. Hey, Sean Rucker, I need you to call me, fam. And see, understand something. What I want is for the guys who want to be successful to stop feeling. We have a thing in here. We have a. I don't deal with success shaming over here. I want to praise success.
Afternoon, ladies and gents.
Success shaming comes and tells you you should not, because you like to have. Oh, I had a guy sit around ask me a question. Why would you want to wear that logo on your belt? You trying to go around and impress people? No, I'm trying to impress myself. I like that stuff. And see, I don't allow people to success shame me, and I don't want to be around anybody in my actual real life who sits around and talks shit about people who want to be successful and like living a nicer life. So I get those people away from me. I do. You know what? I could drive a BMW, man, but I'd rather ride this bike because I'm a real dude. I don't want to be around you in my real life. Go over there. Because that's ridiculous. On this very YouTube channel, Dan Locke has a business called Boss in a Bentley. See, the funny thing about Dan Locke is I remember Dan Locke 3 years ago when he came to Influential. And Dan Locke's channel, where it has almost 2 million subscribers now, Dan Locke at that time, his YouTube channel had just cracked 100,000. But Dan Locke came with an entourage of 7 people. And Dan Locke 3 years ago at Influential was making an average of $90,000 a day. Dan Locke was making an average of $90,000 a day 3 years ago when his channel had just cracked 100,000 subscribers. He has a channel called Boss in a Bentley where he and his wife often sit around and talk about their Louboutins. That's what I'm talking about. That's the shit that goes on YouTube and over here. And I'm just getting to the black side of YouTube. And the black side of YouTube, we argue about foolish ass shit. I'm not doing that. Over here, we talk about success. You will have Boss in the Beamer. Over here, live streaming, I want the guys who want to be successful, who want to drive well, eat well, live well, who want to be able to do just like our counterparts, the rest of the world, and not be shamed and not feel bad. Come out. Come on. Safe place. We're going to floss it over here. See, that's called flossing in the black community. It's just called living everywhere else. Just called living. And I refuse to keep having to feel like, well, because you like to wear a suit. Oh, you feel like you uppity and you better than everybody. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to block you. He has a self-defense channel. Yes, he is Jeet Kune Do. See, I don't do that on my channel. I don't show my martial arts because, but here's the thing. Going into 2020, you see the separation happening. I want guys who want to be successful. All guys. I'm a black man, so in social media, people are usually drawn to people who look like them, but we're not in the minority. Teaching how to be an individual versus being a nation. A nation of what, Dan? Daryl? Hold on. A nation of what, Daryl? Go ahead. See, and this is the kind of stuff I'm talking. Go ahead, Daryl. You got the floor. Tell us what you're talking about. You have 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 10. All right, goodbye. Goodbye. I'm not even going down that path of these guys. D-Wiz, that's fine, Cashmere. What are you doing? This comment was fine. See, but I want to also address what you can't become a nation without successful individuals first. Exactly. See, I hear these terms talk about the black bourgeoisie and the elitists and this and that and the town's tent. I got no room for that. When I'm out in corporate America competing, I'm a black man, and I know because I'm black how I'm perceived by my group. But I still get a choice to decide whether or not I want to line up and compete. I have no room for the Robert Smith and, well, he gave 400 guys, he wiped away their college debt, but this is who he meant. I got no room for any of that. If that's your motive, there are plenty of channels for that. Here, if you want to be successful, success is a team sport. See, that ignorant person did not watch my channel. So if you're too stupid to even, I'm just being, if you're too stupid to talk. You're too dumb to talk on my channel because you've not watched my stuff. I don't want to hear what you have to say if you haven't watched my videos. I don't want you saying something on my channel and saying, well, explain to me. Go back and watch the videos. Go back and watch the videos. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I've been talking about for the last several months or years. Go back and watch the videos and then get your own understanding. But that looks too much like work. See, over here, we're going to start talking about the books we read. I'm raising the level of discourse. I'm talking about success and all the things that come with it. I'm talking about success and all the things that come with it. And yes, women are a part of that. And if that is not what you want to do, don't come to the live streams. But here's the thing. If it's not what you want to do, what do you want to do? Be unsuccessful? I don't do this success shaming stuff. I don't. But what I also don't do is I don't shit on guys who don't want to do what I do. That's cool. You don't want to do that. You don't like, that's cool. That's fine. But you're not going to come over here and talk shit about it. Perfectly fine. You ain't never heard me sit around and say to somebody, you can't be a man unless you're making $200,000 a year and got a dime piece and driving a Mercedes. Name me the video where I've ever said that. But coming over here trying to split that hair is going to get one thing: shut down. Success is an echo chamber. This channel, my live streams are success driven. They are an echo chamber. I don't want to hear contrary. I don't want to hear dissenting views. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Don't want to hear any of that stuff. What's going on, Samuel?
What's up, Kevin? Might have missed yesterday's session. You made buy my first pair of luxury frames. Keep going.
That's a dumb question. And I don't like your name. That's why you're off my channel. Don't come to my, no, Kashmir. If somebody comes in here with a name like that, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any more of this low class, low brow, bull stuff. No, there are plenty of other channels for you to go be a goddamn fool on. You want to come over here with a name like that? I don't want you on my channel. Don't. You're welcome to watch, but you're not going to be in my chat room lowering the level of discourse over here. Thank you. The Gentleman's Club. That's right. I'm tired. Because here's the thing, real talk, I don't allow that stuff in my daily life. So I'm certainly not going to allow it in this extension of my life and my business. Not going to do it. that also means, it means a good thing for me too, because when I'm out and about my regular life, I don't curse the way I curse sometimes here, but I get my points across. And if you got, and if anybody wants to call it bougie and uppity and all that other kind of stuff, that is Black success shaming. And you can do that. Call me that, but you won't do it over here. You won't do it over here. And you notice I don't go to other people's channels, and I'm not all in other folks' comment section.
Thank you, sir. Those that have ears to hear will hear. Do and enjoy the results. Love you for these messages, Kevin.
Appreciate it. Because the thing is, no one went to college. If you went to PV to become a mechanical or chemical engineer, you knew you didn't go, you weren't at MIT or Stanford. But you also didn't want to get paid less either. You knew you wanted to compete. I want the men who want to compete. I want the men who want to be successful. And by extension, the women who are want to compete for the attention of those successful men. Yes, women compete for the eye and attention of successful men. And then you have to compete for that woman that you want, because successful men on your level, only one's going to get her. So yeah, CIA, that's confident, intelligent, assertive. That's for every guy. That's the videos. But when I'm making the live streams, I'm presuming that I'm talking to guys who are starting to be in the second level or better. You want to be competitive, intriguing, and aggressive. You're deciding to separate from the workaday world, or to start a side business or something like that. You're moving, you're elevating. What's going on, Quiet Cricket? People who talk about communities just an excuse to be lazy. I'm tired of waiting for Blacks to build networking and successful. Look, man, success is a team sport.
People who talk about community just want an excuse to be lazy and tired of waiting for Blacks to build within networking with successful Asians whites, because that's the only way it'll win, Kev.
Here's my stance on that. I can't know why they're doing what they're doing. And as long as there's no success shaming, I have no problem. I don't. See, I believe there's a room for every passion in this world. That may truly be a passion, but those things can coexist. But where I will have a problem is that you got to be successful in this way. Wait a minute. I don't tolerate that. And if you're going to be out here in the business world, if you're a Black man doing business, you'd be a fool to only sell to a small market. Become massively successful and then give it all away. If you really, my take on it is, if you really want to do what's best, get out here, compete, make your billions, and then at the end of your life, or make your billions and then be philanthropic with it. See, why is it always about women as opposed to specific advice to achieve business? All right, well, let me tell you this, dude. You don't have, first off, let me do this for you. You obviously, why are you a member of my channel and you ask why it's always about women? Why aren't you watching all the content? Let me go ahead and take some time right here. Because if I can actually let me see how I can do this. Let me address this question. This guy came, no. I want to address this. Why is it always about women as opposed to specific advice on how to achieve successful Black men? First off, you want specific advice? This is what you do. You want specific advice? This is what you do. You want specific advice, you book a session. You want specific advice, you book a session. Why would I give specific advice in a general broadcast? You book a session. I speak about a broad subject that's broadly acceptable to a broad audience. That's why it's called broadcasting. You want specific advice, you book a session. Your content is too centered about women. Real brothers aren't feeling that. You ain't a real brother, in my opinion. See, and that's another thing. Who gets to determine you a real brother? If that's what real brothers are, that ain't real. Because if you think my content's all centered about women, you're too stupid to even be a member of my channel. I will find a way to block you and give you your money back. I don't need that kind of person. Nope. No, thank you. You will have a refund of your membership. I don't want your membership. Your money's not worth that to me. If you honestly think that my almost 1,000 videos are all about women, go elsewhere. See, that's the power of being able to have fuck you money and walk away. I don't need everybody. I need the guys who are actually broad enough and think broad enough to understand that eat the meat, spit out the bones. But if you got a problem with women, you ain't the kind of person I'm talking to anyway, because there's CIA and there's FBI. Always have been, always will be. Kick rocks. Anybody want to take up his membership?
You are doing God's work, Kevin. A forceful raising of the bar this game is far more serious than many realize.
Thank you, fam. Anybody want to go ahead and take his membership place? If you want to take his membership place, there's a button down there that says join, because yours is coming back to you. And I would love to have guys who would say, you know what, I'm glad he's doing this, because I'm tired of this toxic kind of, that kind of mindset's toxic to me. 51% of the population is about women, is women. Where have you, anyway? Yeah, my block game is crazy. I mean, because I don't have time. Because here's the thing, Brian, is everywhere, when I go out and I'm networking, trust me, these conversations never come out in the world. I don't say never, rarely come up. And the kind of women and the kind of guys I network with and the women I deal with, because I control the places I go, I have a different experience. And if I can have it, so can you. So yeah, block game's fierce. Some networking opportunities if I don't drink alcohol. You don't have to drink. I mean, I don't understand what do you mean if you don't drink alcohol. I don't know of any networking opportunities that require you to drink alcohol. Just go. Go and have a go have a Perrier. There are plenty of people that network and don't drink. Start with your local chamber. See, here's the thing. You'd be better off just going out networking at your local chamber and then figuring out. See, a lot of this stuff, let me address this too. A lot of things, guys. Well, Chris Banks, and I wanted the dumbass questions to come out so I could block guys. That's what I want. I want to block them. I want them gone. Understand something. That success being an echo chamber, if you decide to be a bachelor for the rest of your life, you can do that. I know some guys who are bachelors, who are jet setting, who are enjoying the life, and they will never get married. They got rotations, and the women that they're dealing with are model fine. And they know, and hey man, there's something for everybody, however you want to do it. See, that's the thing. I want guys to be successful and then choose. But if you honestly think success means living a life like a monk, That ain't success. Who are we talking? Where do you see these guys at? I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it, man. There are far too many. I don't want to say far too many. There are some of you guys are just need counseling because your views on women are poisonous to you, and you're not hurting anybody but yourself. All right. OO says, can you speak on being a sugar daddy? Is it being a simp or taking advantage of my success? Well, first of all, humans can be damaged, but it's just getting the damage repaired. I've had damage, but you get the damage repaired. Being a sugar daddy, is it being a simp or is it taking advantage of my? The guys who I know are sugar daddies are anything but simps. Now I don't doubt that there are some sugar daddies out there that are simps, but the guys who I know are sugar daddies, they made an active decision to act. You know what? The average sugar daddy I know, if I'm just honest, they're making a calculation. They're saying, you know what? I have a budget and I'd rather take this $30,000 and save my time and make a deal with a woman. Now, see, there's from a pimp mindset, that's tricking because you're paying. But the way I look at it is you're always going to pay. You're paying somehow. That's the exchange. Her sexual attention for your non-sexual attention. Your non-sexual attention tends to come in some form of meal, such and so forth. The only way it's taking advantage is if you go in and you are obviously being duped. But how can you be, but here's the thing, if you are a 45-year-old dude dealing with a 19-year-old girl, and you know that that woman is only with you because of your money and social status, if you could not normally get that woman without your money and social status, how's that taking advantage? You know, going into it, taking advantage of you is doing something that you don't, that's unbeknownst to you. Now, if you want to be a sugar daddy, knock yourself out, fam. Kevin, what's up, BMT? I say all the time when I was at a family business function, I don't realistically hear or observe the narratives in my circles. We control our. Thank you. And BMT just basically says success is an echo chamber. And that's the thing. It's an echo chamber, gentlemen. So I need you guys who disagree to really examine your circle. You created it, or you have the power to recreate it. If you want to be successful and you're hanging or interacting or dealing with people who are unsuccessful the majority of the time, you're not going to be as successful as you can be. I question if you're ever going to become successful. Successful people hang around successful people. Now, let's talk about success guilt. You're going to have to give yourself permission to be successful, which means cutting off unsuccessful or not fruitful branches. Pruning your life. Anybody familiar with pruning is? In order to get maximum fruit off of a tree, sometimes you have to cut away a branch or cut away something that's, a damaged branch or a branch that's not yielding. Oftentimes, you will cut away a tree to make it bear better fruit. Your life is the same. There are people that you grew up with that you may call friends, but you've gone down a different path than they've gone. You're going to have to, if you really want to be as successful as possible, you're going to have to prune that relationship back. That doesn't mean you got to get rid of them. That doesn't mean you got to block them or anything. That just means when you're going out networking and they're going out doing something else, Two different things. Think of it this way. Imagine if all these friends that I'm talking about, they had a different sexual preference. Say some of the dudes you grew up with, right? And all of a sudden, one or two of your homeboys came out and said they were like Malik Yoba, they like trans men or whatever, or they were gay. Would that negate your friendship and everything you know? Probably not. But would you go to the same clubs they go to and go to the same? No, you wouldn't. You'd be going somewhere different. You're going to have to prune your life throughout your life. Some people come into your life for a season and a reason. You had people that you knew in high school that didn't go with you to college, military, or whatever. You had people that you knew in those three places that didn't go with you to the city you live in now. Rarely do you see somebody that who becomes successful who've had the same people the entire time. What up, yo? Where do you want black men to go? I don't know what your question is, Super Victory Line. So, it ain't a. Where do you want black men to go versus where are they now? I don't know if you've got the gist of the broadcast, but it's not specifically about black men. I'm talking to successful men who want to be successful. If you're black, I want you to go out here and compete and go out here and do successful things and not feel guilty about it and not mute or new to your success or not have success at a diminished level. See, I don't accept the fact that $100,000 is successful here, but $200,000, $250,000 successful here. No, I want the bar to come up for all men. For black men, our success bar is lower than the average, and it needs to come up, in my opinion. Here's the thing, I control my life. I will speak to what I think is important, but if you want to be lower down here, if you want to make less than you can, that's your problem. That's your choice. But here's what you don't get to do. You don't get to decide to neuter or mute and then complain or throw stones at people who decide to push you past. You pick your position in this life. See, and I'll say this and I'll wrap it up. Ooh, I went long. Most of the people who come to these spaces, you're first generation something. We don't come from, your father didn't pass the business on to you. You're not inheriting the family business. You're not inheriting the family this or that. You're the first one to do it. And that's the thing. Success is a plan. If you have a son, you're likely already setting up stuff for your legacy and your lineage, so he does not have to go recreate everything that you did. You'll be passing it on, and he'll be able to ask his father, hey, Dad, what do we do from here? He does not have to go all the way back to the beginning. You hand it off. We oftentimes, guys, are the first ones, and they're leaving. They're basically breaking away and going to seek their fortune. And they had to leave everybody else back here. And there is a sense of loneliness, sense of guilt because you're leaving your family, your mama and all other stuff because most didn't have the daddy. And what I'm saying is, look, man, in order to get to where you got your life to live. Go live your thing. Go do your thing. You can't help anybody if you still are over here. And see, that whole thing about, you're talking about building individuals versus nations. I don't deal with people like that in my life, because people like that who think that's small, who think like that's small thinking, can't see big picture, can't see long term. Success is an echo chamber. It requires big picture thinking. It requires playing the long game. There will be short-term things that you may be required to do, but there's a plan. It does not just happen. It does not just happen. Successful people don't just happen.
Thank you for this talk. I was getting lazy after getting the great job after earning my master's degree. There are more levels.
Thanks, ma'am. I got a call to do it for, but see, here's the thing. I'll be moving to Atlanta this weekend. And in Oklahoma, when I'm talking to some of my friends who are merchants and shop owners, a lot of them are like, wow, man, in the last, they remember how I was when I first started coming around in areas. And a lot of these people like, I've seen the growth, I've seen the change, I've seen this and I've seen that. The thing is, they've been at the same place. You've been a manager at so-and-so shop. You've been an assistant manager at so-and-so shop. You remember me coming in the first day saying, hey, my name is Kevin Samuels. I'm an image consultant in the city. And you can even go back on my channel and see the growth. That's why I have a lot of those videos. And one of the guys I'm thinking of in particular is like, man, watching you from the first time you came in to watch you bring your clients, to watch this, watch that, it's inspired me to finally step out and start my own thing. And so think about it. You're talking about moving. Your life is going to be movement and people are watching. That's why I say one of the biggest things you can do to ensure you're successful is move. Give yourself the proof, because when you move, that's a sure sign to yourself that you're serious. If you don't continue to the point I was making is, when I started my business out, I wrote a plan, a business plan and a marketing plan and a strategy. So it was a direction. So through whatever life did, through my relationship breakup, through this, through that, through this job, through that position, through that thing, I was still going this way. And here's the thing, life was going to happen whether I had a plan or not, but that plan kept me moving forward. So now you're like, wow, people who were even 3 years ago, they're like, man, all of a sudden I talk about Dan Locke. 3 years ago, he was influential. Channel had less than 200, had 113,000 subscribers, making $75,000, $90,000. He showed us different snapshots of how much money. He had 7 people around him. I wonder how much money Dan Locke is making a day right now when he has almost 20 times as many subscribers. But Dan Locke came in there talking about big thinking. And when I heard Dan Locke, I heard a great salesman talking. You need to get around great salespeople, people who think big. I mean, whether you like Grant Cardone style or not, get around folks like that. Because whether you're Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or Jordan Belfort or Dan Locke or Dan Pena, whomever, are you going to be better off than you were hanging around the people you're hanging around now? Let me answer this question. This guy, let me answer this question. This guy says, why book a session when you can get business advice for free from proven millionaires like Patrick Bet David? Well, if you think that you getting free advice is going to be sufficient for you to get to where you need to be, then go for it. And I want anybody else to think like that to go for it. But I also want you to leave I don't want to, no, 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 no. I want to answer the question because I'm here because I hear specifics on business success as a Black man. And I'm going to specifically tell you this. I am not going to give you specifics about my business of image for free. Anything you get generally is general information because I am in business. And as a Black man, if you, and honestly, this is why I don't put that stock in that Black man thing, because this is the Black man that came into me saying, why should I pay for something I can get for free? Then go there. And if you feel like you can get it for free, then go get it. Gary Vee says he often gives his best stuff for free too. But then if that's the case, why does he have VaynerMedia? If you honestly believe that you're going to be able to get the same information for free, knock yourself out. How many smart business people honestly believe that? Dumbass, who said, I'm an image consultant. Okay, see, this is what I mean. This is stupid stuff. You're not a millionaire. First of all, that's not the point. So next year when I am a millionaire, come back. That's what you do. Next year when you're a millionaire, okay. My clients are, and again, this is the perfect place to end the video because this person openly admitted he's a Black man, and this is the limited thinking. This is limited thinking. Why go get it? Why come to you? Then here's the perfect example. Go ahead. These are the kind of mindsets I need you to get away from. Because in his mind, that made sense. Only millionaires should be listened to, and millionaires give their advice for free. Then if that's the case, you should spend no time on anyone else's channel other than those millionaires giving free $1 million advice that's actionable in your life. You will be foolish if you consider yourself to be a smart business person, a smart person to spend any of your time other than those places. So I'm going to help you out. Leave my channel because you're too smart for the rest of us. And anybody else who feels like he's onto something, I suggest you go with him. Only go listen to the millionaires who are giving their free advice that you can act on right now. Go right there. No, Omari, understand something. I use a little bit of everything. The Karate Kid said, I gotta run, guys. I have a session to do it for. Until next time, remember, guys, no matter how you slice it, success is an echo chamber. Success is an echo chamber. I have to have one more thing to say. I want you guys to notice how many people with 1 million subscribers do consistent live streams. I know Grant Cardone has his hustler side, but how many people do consistent live streams? They do short videos, which are promos for their service. But where do you see the consistent live stream where they interact with the audience? For the guy who thinks that you can really get free advice. Think about it. Where do you see the consistent live stream? You don't. And here's the thing. Yeah, 1 million is just the beginning. Well, HR business part, this kind of ignorance. So that's what I say, you know, that's why I say it's an echo chamber. I like those people to raise their hand so I can get them out. So I will do broadcasts like this from time to time. It's kind of like turning the lights on so you can see the roaches scatter so you can know where they are. Peace out, people.